Thank you for joining us today. Kira and I are sharing this experience with this beautiful community and all of you out there from Rocky Mountain National Park. We leave tomorrow for Ecuador, for Tosa Blue Mountain and the beautiful residence and sacred mountain and sacred valley that we live in. So
in
welcome
the
in the Andes,
Yeah.
Ecuador. So welcome all.
Yes, yes. We are so grateful that you are here. And this is kind of fun because, Hank and I are here in the Rockies, and tomorrow we're going to be in the Andes. And this was really why we felt the call to film this show here, to film today's episode here. So, why is that? Well, if you were with us last week when we birthed this new, incredible third journey, the journey of the all, we went into a deep dive of Sacred Union, and I encourage you to catch up if you have not yet seen that episode.
Before you get
Yeah.
into that,
Tell me.
I know many of you are thinking, where in the world is Kira? Where in the world is Hank?
Uh-oh.
Whatever happened to Dora?
Who's
So here we are, gallivanting around the world, sharing these beautiful
That's so
insights and
true.
awarenesses that we have received
Yeah.
with all of you.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Hank, I love that. That's so true. Where is Dora? I love that.
Take it away, Kira.
You got it, Hank. And so in that energy, right? In the energy of Sacred Union, in the energy of that divine knowing, that oneness, we go through, as Archangel Zodkiel would call it, that ever-refining spiral. And the ever-refining spiral of conscious awareness is that sometimes we're spiraling up and, sometimes we're spiraling down. And a lot of times we're spiraling around and around and around. But yet, you're never off track. You've never lost your connection. In this moment, the yoga of self-ascension is here on this planet. Hank and I are here as living examples, as you are, that when we walk through Sacred Union, the 4 steps of the yoga of self-ascension, right? When we walk through Sacred Union, when we give ourselves that blessing, that relaxation of relaxing and releasing judgment, when we allow our heart to emerge because of our unconditional love, so that we may relax into that ultimate trust where we surrender. Then we step into that moment of self-ascended mastery where all of this energy we've been talking about, that presence and the awareness and the intention and the transformation, that's where that active experience manifests. So today we're in step 2 of this 4-part, very profound little journey, but yet very powerful. It's the journey of the yoga of self-ascension. It's the journey of that divine mastery. It's the journey of the perennial philosophies of remembering you, who you are, while you're still in this body of form. You don't have to die to ascend. And that's why Hank and I are here in these extraordinary places on Mother Gaia, because she's been calling us, and we're grateful that you're hearing that call as well. How about it, Hank? Really amazing, right?
Absolutely, for sure. So this is the 3rd series that from whence we started. The series is The All.
Yeah.
We moved through the I in series 1, 14 episodes that I just love. I hope you will dive back into them.
Please do.
And for those of you who have not seen them, you might want to start or share that experience, because the I is so important, and it has been something that not only has it carried through to series 2, the we, and into series I, it is all encompassing. It is all where it resides, here, within your heart, within this beautiful body of yours.
Yeah. And that's the gift, is it not? Because when we ignite the heart, when we say yes, when we remember that we are the commander of the ship, which we talked about last night as well, we're able to honestly enter into the field where we can release judgment. And that's where we're going today, because we began with Sacred Union. And again, we invite you to go back and watch last week's episode. And if you already saw it once, go back and watch it again, especially in context of this show. Make sure you're subscribing to this YouTube channel, and make sure you're getting to IamKira.net, because today we're releasing judgment. And let me ask you this question. Have you ever judged yourself? Have you ever second-guessed yourself?
Yeah, what does that feel like?
Right, what does that feel like? Have you ever had that moment of, why did I do that? Or, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh my God, what have I done? Have you ever had that? I think all of us can raise our hands to that at some point.
And judging another, and
Right?
really how does that shift our way of being? I think dramatically.
I agree with that because when we judge another, what we're really doing is reflecting our fear.
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons why my heart, my soul loves coming up here to the mountains, connecting with you. And Hank, and as you mentioned, we're on our way back where we're going to be living again at 7,500 feet in the Andes Mountains. There is a breath that you inhale outside of judgment because it is a moment where you're just free enough of the planetary thought body to let go of that fear, the fear that suspends us in that spiral, in that lateral move, the fear that stops us from being. And that's really what releasing judgment is all about. Because when we release judgment, it means we first stop judging ourselves, which means what? It means we become, and I'm going to use this as two words, response able.
So I know that many of you are wondering, oh, Kira, release judgment. Oh, it sounds so great, so easy. Well, actually, it is. And it happens when you're ready. It happens when it happens. So releasing judgment of another can be challenging, though in my experience, it's so much easier than releasing judgment of self. And judgment takes on so many different aspects and so many different feelings, surrounding it. And it's so beautiful because in talking about releasing judgment and moving next week into the next week's show about unconditional love and what that really means. Wow. So let me share an experience that I had.
Yeah.
There was someone in my life whose mother, for me, I had these observations which were probably judgments. She would dote on me. I was holier than thou. I was just a freaking human young in this body. And I never really understood because it was challenging for me to be on this pedestal with her or whatever my judgments or observations were and where they led me. It led me to a place of not truly understanding her for who she was and who she is. So at one point in time, having done more and more work, realizing, wow, this person loves me so much that this is how she expresses, and getting into a point of embracing and accepting that and realizing this is this beautiful unconditional love that I'm experiencing from another being. Wow. And I shared this with the person's mother, and she started crying. And we both did, for it was such a beautiful realization for that release, that depth of understanding and awareness. So, yeah, it happens when it happens. Happened with my mother, too, who I thought was judgmental and critical. And I realized that she loved in the way that she loved, and that way for her was unconditional. And as I began to open up and experience it, the whole relationship began to shift.
Hank, I love that you're bringing this up, and thank you for sharing that. I know we're all feeling your heart and your courage and your beauty and sharing that experience with us. One of the things in releasing judgment was something you just said that I really want to reflect upon was the recognition, yes, re-hyphen cognition, that this is the way that being loved. To see love as love without judgment. To release judgment that it all must look the way a mind of form wants to control it to look. Let's remember that judgment at the end of the day is grief. Because to release judgment is to move into a field of acceptance. You cannot simultaneously judge and accept, very much like you cannot simultaneously be in fear and trust. Judgment is simply fear's cousin. And same with acceptance. It is trust's best friend. And so when we move into acceptance, what happens? We move into a moment of letting go of our grief, because acceptance is a stage of mastery. Acceptance is a place where we no longer seek a right or wrong, where we no longer feel victimized, where we're no longer looking at vendettas. Acceptance is a moment of knowing.
It's really about
right?
Well, it's about all of this. It's
Yeah.
about experiencing that depth of love
And knowing,
and the love of oneself.
right? And that's the gift of it. Because when you really step into that, when you really step into acceptance, when you let go of grief, what happens is that, first of all, your lungs open. So you begin breathing. You breathe air you've never breathed before. You meet people you've never met before. You're free. You take that literal suffocation energy out of your body, and your lungs for the first time begin breathing. That's why many people are called to heights. That's why many people are called to pure air. That's why many people are called to go, wait a minute, I'm breathing again, because you're relieving yourself of the grief through the power of the healing of acceptance, which sits inside the sea of neutrality. Acceptance is beyond judgment. And one of the gifts that I love from the archangelic realm as we move into living in our multidimensional presence and that awareness of all that you are while carrying this body of form and being consciously aware that you're here right now. You've got a body, it bleeds, you need to breathe, you need to eat. But at the same time, you get to witness yourself with the smile of thank you. Thank you for not being perfect. Thank you for having some pain. Thank you for going through whatever you have gone through to bring us both to where we are now. It is when we arrive at that moment of thank you that comes from the depth of our heart without any hesitation that we are free. Because the universe says, okay, you are ready. You have grown. Your mastery is internalized while in this body of form. Thereby, the yoga of self-ascension is ready to facilitate the law of instantaneous manifestation. And Hank and I are living proof of that, and I invite you to come join us and see that in action.
So, in a sense, one of the pathways is the pathway to releasing this is the pathway to acceptance.
Yes.
Because through acceptance, you can forgive.
Yes. Right?
Through acceptance, you can trust.
Oh, God.
And through acceptance, you can love.
That's the way. That's
Beautiful
the way.
pathway.
It is such a beautiful pathway. And you know what? Hank mentioned it earlier, right? It is easy. It doesn't have to take forever. What it does take, and we talked about this last week inside of the Sacred Union as well, it takes the power of yes from within. That eternal propulsion, that engine that turned on for me when I was hanging off that cliff in Sedona and Zodkill showed up for the first time. It's that power of saying yes with every breath, with every day, of knowing that even though there is small print, and I have mentioned this more than once, it's okay because it's worth it. It's brought you to where you are now. And when we release the judgment of self, when we give ourselves the gift of saying, wait a minute, I took birth, thereby I deserve. Remember that you deserve because you were born, period. Into this, look at this, look what's behind us. In this beautiful environment, in this beautiful Gaia that is calling to you. We're hearing birds singing. We're hearing this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mountain experience. Gaia is calling. Listen, release the judgment that you may not think you hear and just go out and pick up a leaf. Go look out your window at the sun. Say thank you to the moon. Smile within and remember that when we release judgment, we stand. We breathe rarefied air, and we remember, and we become the witness of the self, thereby able to find the smile of eternity.
Words of wisdom.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Time to release judgment, right?
Absolutely. So powerful. This is where one of the areas for wonderful expansion into being, expansion into your heart, expansion into gratitude and thankfulness.
Indeed. That is the gift. May your heart know that truth. Again, visit iamkira.net. Take a look
where you will
the
find
opening.
I am Hank at Kira.net.
Everywhere. Many who show up, we're together, as always. So we're working on that URL as well. Just know that in this moment, the gift of sacred union is yours to claim. The blessing of your twin soul, twin flame is all around you. And the power of yes is yours to harvest and say yes to.
You know, joining us in this beautiful community that is continuing to expand, grow, and develop is another beautiful way to connect, to share that gratitude, for we are in gratitude for all of you out there. And we hope that these sharings, and do understand that these sharings can be very impactful and open up that pathway for you all, as we continue to do, to manifest.
So reach out to us. This is a two-way street. Give us a comment, send us a question, support@selfascension.com, and know that you are loved.
And yes, you are. Thank you for joining us all. Namaste.
Namaste.